All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of RareFUD Radio on our new YouTube channel. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We do have a new channel just to streamline all of our streams so you can see them all in one spot. No worries about any other videos, as Dorian and I are coming out with curated content for our own channels. This just kind of helps keep everything a little bit more organized, and so you have a better place to see all of the streams. Today's episode, we got a lot to talk about. There seems to be an art renaissance here over on Solana. We'll be talking about Brave dropping with Adam Ape. We'll be talking about IOTA with John Lay. We'll be talking about Lily with Bunjil and the Lotus Gang crew. We'll be talking about so many mints coming up as well. And of course, we'll have our daily episode alpha recap, alpha corner, and can't wait to get into it with you guys. Of course, joining me as always is good friend and co-host of the show. What is up, Dorian? How you doing today?
Yo, what's going on, dog? Every day's a holiday, so I'm doing great, dog. Had me a long nap. Actually, just woke up, so I'm feeling hella good.
That's right. That's right, man. I wish I could. I did not sleep well last night. I don't know what it was. I went to bed at a pretty decent time, and for some reason was tossing and turning until like 2:30 in the morning. Woke up at 6:30. So I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep. That's okay.
Ooh.
We degens over here, and that's fine. So
Hey, we are.
that's right. So Dor, we got a little bit to talk about today. Talk a little bit about what's going on in the market. So we are holding up about 100K sold volume over the past 24 hours, which is good. Like I said, not the greatest metric in the world, but it does seem to be gaining a little bit of life, and we keep sustaining at these levels. Not a huge amount of profit that we see. These I think the most recent project that's done very well is Meta Tattoo Club. Everything else is, scalping sort of profits, and that's good. I mean, especially when you have 0% royalties and marketplace fees. I guess you can opt into those royalties. We always do here at RareFUD, but it just feels kind of stagnant right now, and I'm really looking forward to when we start seeing these projects take off. We continue to see the Hollowed, Zombies and Brains, Tubes, Meta Tattoo, D-Gods, ABC, Kets kind of dominate the top 12 status. So still waiting to see. We have a ton of projects on the horizon that I expect to be in that top 12 and start seeing a little bit of shift there. But what are your thoughts on the market right now, Dor?
Yeah, the market is in a weird optimistic / pessimistic state. We see all these things popping off, like all these new projects coming out. Claynosaurus is coming, Popheads is coming. John Lay just mentioned his stuff. But while there's so many things happening, because the overall macroeconomic conditions and even Solana is still in a bear market, people are very finicky about their mint prices, which is very interesting to me because a couple weeks ago, things were minting out 5+ SOL. There was a collection Rifters minting for 10 SOL not too long ago, and that's actually holding up pretty well. But now it's like with all these, I think Claynosaurus is going to be 7 SOL mint. We know John Lay mentioned it was a 5 SOL mint, and boy, Twitter was outraged, and I'm sure we'll get into more than that later. But yeah, man, it's the market. Even though we have volume, it's like the market's in a very weird state right now.
Yeah, it is, and I definitely think we will see kind of a make or break point with these high cost mints coming up on the horizon. We will certainly be talking about those. I think today is pretty much going to be dominated by these upcoming mints because there's a lot, and I actually think they're coming from very quality teams that we can kind of breathe a sigh of relief. A lot of them are coming with unique value propositions or like state-of-the-art art, and it looks really good. But it is going to be very curious to see. We do have a lot of outrage in the community. I don't necessarily understand it, but at the same time, Solana gonna Solana, right? Everybody wants to see their profits, and the higher cost basis means the more less likely that you're going to see like a 2x return, right? So and that's what a lot of people are hoping to shoot for right now. We'll see what happens with it, but we still seeing Magic Eden at 90% market share, and they continue to dominate. So what's up, Dor?
Yeah, I was just saying it's like with a lot of these art-based projects such as John Lay and even potentially Claynosaurus. I know the artist behind Popheads. She's she's an amazing artist. Our buddy Saigo has been bullish on her. Joyce, he's been bullish on her for a very long time. She's coming from the one-of-one space as well. So like a lot of these artists, I'm bullish on super, super long term. So I will mint their stuff just to support them, because I know whenever market sentiment turns around and what they're working towards extends far beyond just immediate profit and actually having skills to execute it. What's happening with John Lay right now kind of reminds me similar of what's happening to Bubble Goose. Even though you have a solid founder and even though they can execute, what you're seeing is the lack of immediate utility that people so crave and desire to act as a catalyst to pump their bags. That's when projects start to get funded. So yeah, it's just like I said, it's kind of disappointing on the short term, but long term, I'm bullish.
Yeah, and it kind of presents a unique opportunity, because I think, we see it with Critter Skull, right? I think Critter Skull is probably the best recent project that kind of fits into this hypothesis that, we could see a nice run up in the short term. Once people realize like, hey, this is going to be a longer time horizon hold, we're going to start seeing a lot of downward pressure, a lot of sell pressure from a lot of people. And I think that's what I'm worried about is, I will go in trading this because I play to the market advantage. If I get a 2x on these, I will probably take it. And that being said, I know that I will go back into these projects, right? Like if I do sell these, I'm going back into it because I do believe in all of these projects that we're going to mention on the show for the long term. I truly do. We'll go through all these projects, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and rank them as far as what I think is sustainable into the short term, the long term. We'll rank them, in order of what we're most hyped for. I think that's probably the best way we go about this.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, but we mentioned John Lay at first. Let's go ahead and roll into him. So John Lay did announce IOTA. If you're holding a GM or the first edition, you were included in the snapshot. It was at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time yesterday. So if you're holding it, great. You can go into Discord. They do have a list of all the wallets that were in the snapshot. So if you are holding it and you don't see your name up there, reach out to them. I'm sure John and co are very amicable when it comes to a solution. If you weren't captured in there and you can prove that you were holding it. So, just be aware of that. But it was announced it's a 5 Sol mint. It's a 1,500 collection size. He already previewed the art cover for the comic book, it looks like, for IOTA. It looks incredible. Very John Lay style. I mean, his style is, you can pick it out from a mile away. There seems to be a lot of replicas in the one-on-one space as far as people trying to imitate his style, which sincerest form of flattery, right? We all see it. Now with IOTA, there's a couple things to note, right? This will act as somewhat of an access pass to the making of IOTA. So he's going to be doing live streams. He's going to be doing interviews. He'll be going over the whole composition of the comic book from the business side, from the creative side. I think it's going to be a really interesting perspective to see inside the mind of such an immaculate creative mind like John Lay. You will also get an exclusive hardcover copy of the comic when it is released. That's more utility than we see in 99% of projects. He's clearly laid out the funds too. He will raise about $240,000 from this. About half that's going towards taxes between his personal and the hiring of the people. He will be hiring, the people who are actually producing the comic at a better rate than they're used to in the industry. And he said this long before. He's trying to cut out middlemen so he can pay the people who are actually producing this in a better fashion, which I think is bullish. I think that's a really good narrative. It will drive a lot of talent to Solana and really in Web3 in general. So I think this is a net positive, and I'm happy to fund something like this. And I'm getting a cool thing in return for it. I want your thoughts on it, Dor, and then I want to talk about pros and cons of this.
Dude, I love it, man. It's super exciting for me. I love supporting artists. Having a talented creator such as John Lay, who already has experience creating comics, I don't see why he couldn't create something original to him that would be successful in Web 2, or that would be successful in Web 3, and would be able to bridge the gap. I hate using that term, but will be able to bridge the gap to a wider audience over in Web 2. It's just that the only thing that and when my disappointment doesn't come from John Lay, it comes from the greater community. I think we were discussing this before we hopped on stream about how if we could review Solana, it's like developers, 5 stars. It's like projects, most of them, I'd give it about a 4 to 5 stars. And then you got your community, it's like 1.5, maybe 2 on its best day. They're so fickle, and like they don't really like to support artist-led projects like this. But the longer I'm in NFTs, the more I see that with all this potential regulation coming up and all this and all the unknowns that we have to deal with from legislators, one of the most safest assets is probably in just pure art plays and things such as, and that's why I've been trying to get more into the one-of-one space. That's why I've been trying to pick up more of these artist-led and art-focused projects, not only because they will be able to provide, hold their value throughout any potential regulation, but also has a long-term value to be able to grow as the ecosystem and the chain grows. So that's why I picked up a DAA. It's like, those are one of the people who has a chance to build a brand beyond Solana. Same thing with John Lay. Same thing with Carl Jones. But as you can see, other than DAA, all these projects that are seeking to really reach an audience that's broader than Web3 are suffering in the short term.
Yeah. And I think that's a really, like, that last part hits home. They are suffering in the short term as far as floor price goes. And, you know, like, that's why, you know, I hate that sentiment. I do. I hate it down to my core. I wish people would just like buy and hold, because what you are getting is access to something that is going to happen over a year time horizon. We see it with Bubble Goose. We saw it. We're going to see it with IOTA. I guarantee you. We're going to see it with Critters Cult. We already have, with, you know, a lot of downward price movement there. At the same time, I am a trader, and if I see alpha there, if I see an edge there, like I will trade it, you know, and there's no harm in that. But I think, like I said before, these are projects I want to be in, right? At, you know, whether it is at the pinnacle, trying to time it with any sort of fundamental analysis, that's what I'm going to do with it. So when it comes to stuff like this, I'm going to mint. I'm going to see what price action reveals. If I see a lot of volatility, great, I may trade it. If not, you know, I'll try to go for a 2x or something like that. But I guarantee you this is going to be something that goes down in floor price because people just don't have that long time horizon. If I can get it in lower, if I can somehow scalp like 5 SOL and basically cover my cost basis and then go back into it at 5 SOL, you know, sweet. That's awesome. Then I get all the perks. I cover my cost basis, and that's great. You know, that's probably what I will do going into it, knowing how Solana trades, right? And that is like the most alpha I can give you on some of these art projects is like, they have a long time horizon. They will continue to build out a brand. In the meantime, though, Solana has the attention span of, you know, a small child who doesn't know what they're going to get for dinner tonight, right? So they're just focused on what they're eating for lunch. And, you know, you just got to go with the flow. I hate it. As somebody who has tried to counter trade that thesis, it doesn't work out. You end up bag holding on something you could have liquidity on in the meantime. So we're still in a bear market. I'm going to preserve liquidity as I see fit. But in the meantime, these are projects I want to hold, man. And IOTA is top notch. John Lay is top notch. So I will mint. I will possibly even mint 2 if I can. And then, you know, try to go for there. I only had 1 GM. It was really, I should have had 2. I should have sold into that 15 SOL pump, but
same
dog. Is what it is. So I will mint. I will look to gain any sort of edge on trading, but if not, it's a comfy hold for me. So same thing with Bubble Goose. Like, you know, I have unrealized losses on my Bubble Geese. Bubble Geese, we'll call
Bubble Geese.
Bubble guy. You know, I'm holding about 3 of them right now, and you know, like I'll happily hold it, but I should have traded. You know what I mean? Like it's not rocket science. So trader, I'm gonna seek alpha and cover cost basis, but in the long term, these are all projects I want to hold. Right? I know they are going to build. I know they're going to build a brand better than anybody else in this ecosystem.
Dude, that was well said, man. I'm right there with you. I want to support John Lay. And guess what? Will I be profitable minting at 5 SOL? Unlikely. It's better off. I could take the route of me not minting. And guess what? They might not mint out, but I don't want to see that. So I'm going to be the change I want to see. And I'm going to go ahead and mint 2. And if there's an opportunity for a trade, I'm going to take it. But if it's not, I'm prepared for it to go below mint, which I'm fully expecting to happen. Same thing with how you brought up Critters Cult earlier. It's like we saw the same thing with that with the pump. I'm still looking to get in Critters Cult because it's a long-term play. Even though it's not the most, well, I don't want to say liquid, but even though it's not the most profitable short-term, it's once again, I still think it'll play out long-term. Same with Bubble Guy. I'm down bad on Bubble Goose, but it's just the fact that why I invested in Bubble Goose, nothing has fundamentally changed. Literally nothing. Carl's actively script writing right now. Why do I need to sell? Just because the floor price is down? The only thing that would cause me to sell my Bubble Goose is if something fundamentally changed why I invested in it. And nothing did. I still think Carl's going to be extremely successful producing this show. So I'll just hold and wait till the floor price goes up. It's a longer time horizon, and I put more into that project, a lot into that project. But guess what? Oh well, I'll just chill out and wait.
Yeah, I think that's right. The last point I'll make before we move on is with additions, they tend to hold their floor price very well. You'd be surprised, especially some of these notable ones. Even in recent memory, the Poké Center, Degen Poet, and Low Front drop was a 333 collection size. Yeah. Besides getting a cool piece of art, and Low Fronts will always reward holders, so there is that too. But it's been holding its floor price pretty well, and it didn't completely mint out on that 333. It ended at like 275, so it was not much. It still holds its value pretty well. It's at 2.8, so slightly below mint, but still, like, in the grand scheme of things, still doing pretty well. And this has more utility. Let's be now. Has more utility now, right? We never know with Low Fronts. Soul Boy just gets everything. Degen Poet knows what he's doing too. Yep. They get the business side of things. I do want to talk about addition cycling though. This is the one thing I do worry about with Low Fronts, and Degen Poet especially is kind of turned on to this trend, is you have to own an edition to get another edition, and then next edition tends to be a bigger supply size. And I do think it's really fun. I think it's cool rewarding your collectors and stuff like that, but I don't want it to be somewhat of an art Ponzi, if that makes any sense, where you're just completely diluting supply. It's something I've kind of wrestled with lately, is like, that I'm like, I get the world building. I know Low Fronts is trying to build IP around Low Fronts. So like, I have no worries about them. But it's something you got to be aware of. And like, some of these additions I've been quick to get out of. So,
that's a great point, dog. I'm like, don't get me wrong, I love Low Fronts, still bullish on them. But one of the things that I did like about the one-on-one space more, that it was a bit more exclusive. And a lot of these, including Low Fronts, a lot of these other one-of-one artists are starting to pump out editions like it's cool. And I'm like, whoa. Like, y'all gonna chill out with all these editions? Like, we're supposed to do this because of a small community. Now it's just like, your additions going to amount to a 10K collection if you keep up at this pace.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I do want to, like, additions are cool because I loved the original editions from Low Fronts because they were like a 25-30 collection size. Dojo Dumpling was 30 and Calm Cup was 25. And like, that's, for me, that's a perfect edition size, right? I think anything under 100 is pretty bullish for me. John Lay's different because I get what he's trying to eat. Like that, we always talk about bridging gaps and stuff. We talk about bridging the physical with the metaphysical, right? And that's a little bit different to me, but it is, once these editions start getting massive, and the mint price is like 3 SOL per, 5 SOL per, we gotta just, I'm a little bit less bullish on all of these editions that I'm getting, and I will be flipping some of them. So just I'm putting my trader hat on. Just be aware of that. If I can see alpha, if I can cover my cost basis, I'm going to. But
yeah, of course, though, as you should.
That's it for the additions. Let's talk about the one I think I'm even more excited for. Is Adam Ape in this Brave drop? Yo, a lot of people.
Let's go.
I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. One, it's only a 3 SOL mint. There's going to be 4 different types, and they're all going to have different utility. Which I think is bullish right there. You have the Brave team behind it, which has built out literally a Web3 browser, essentially. Like they have their own wallet that's integrated, the Brave wallet. I have not yet used it. I kind of want to explore it because I just saw when I popped open a new tab, Famous Fox was on there. I was like, hold up, wait, what is this? It's cool to see. it's cool to see them get involved with Solana too. And they have their own token, the basic attention token, which is kind of like distributing attention economy. Like it's interesting tokenomics. It's been around for, since 2017, 2018.
Yeah, wow.
It's a token I traded a lot earlier, but nonetheless, I mean, that is a goated team. It's only 2,500 supply. That seems like a really good supply to me. There are 4 different types and they all come with different utility. I think this is one people should be watching out for. It's 3 Sol. Sounds like it's going to be launched on Magic Eden Launchpad. I know Adam 8 was like, look, I have no control over this. It is up to the developers, but I'm going to roll with it, right? Like, this is a really good collab. But Magic Eden keeps talking about they posted that tweet that says creator royalties, handshake with Adam, handshake with Cardinal Labs. So it sounds like there's like this really cool collaboration going on in the background that not a lot of people have talked about. I'm curious. I know we're Adam Maxis over here, so
all day, dog.
Be minting this, but I'm curious to see what this comes out with. And it sounds like it's going to be a creator royalty enforcement sort of mechanism and the utility that comes with it. I'm curious to see, Dorian, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm literally up in the air about, like, I have no idea what Brave and Magic Eden and them are cooking. But guess what? I'm sure they're freaking cooking something big. You know why? Because Adam, he said on our show that he wasn't going to take time to do anything, but he could not pass up this offer. So it's like, yo, this dude, Adam 8, is top tier, and he's like taking time out to do this. There's obviously something big going on. And a lot of the, I think the sentiment around people, we're not really talking about it. It's like, dude, Adam is still under the radar, man. It's like, we've been preaching 4x4, and then people only start talking about 4x4 when the price pump 2x, when everything does it. So I think it's the same thing along with Brave. It's like the people in the know are going to get Brave, but as soon as it mints and then utilities are out, then people will scramble to Brave. I don't know any of the utility that's going on, and based off that speculation, it sounds pretty freaking bullish. Or sorry, not speculation, your analysis. The slight difference based on your analysis. It's sounds pretty bullish. And I would be mentioning I have 3 whitelist spots, and I will be minting all 3 of them.
There you go. I think I'm the same way where I'm max minting whatever I can, and it sounds like it's going to be not oversubscribed, but there's a lot of demand for it. So I think short term, this is probably going to be one that flies under the radar of a lot of people that should be on the radar of everybody. I think this is going to be a huge project, and this is just the first of it. Iron Paw is coming out here in Q1 of 2023, and that's even more exciting to me. But nonetheless, that is one that should be on your radar. Everybody that's listening, put it on there. Make sure you are watching it. Make sure you're watching it on secondary. I'm going to be watching it like a hawk.
Yeah, same here, man. Same here. And just anything in Adam's ecosystem, I'm going to bring this up again, is just keep your eye out if there's a pullback on supply chain voxels or 4x4. I just think these things are going to cook over on ETH, man. I'm personally I have 2 4x4 left, so I'm going to mint 2 Iron Paw. Maybe flipping a 4x4 depending on what the price gets to, but likely I'm just going to mint 2 Iron Paw gangs and just sit on them, dude. No point in selling them. Zero point. I already got my call. I already sold one of my 4x4s, made my cost basis back for 2 of them, so I'm fine taking. It's not even a small hit. It's like whatever, man. Just for the potential value that I'm going to provide, and as I've been saying throughout the show, I love supporting solid creators, man. Just because I think the art-focused side of NFTs has more longevity than a lot of this Ponzi stuff that's going on.
Yeah, for real. And we'll see what happens with all of it. Let's talk about the next mint, though, that's coming up. Now, we got a little bit more of a time frame to nail down. It's Lily. So Lily announced that it's going to be mid-November, anywhere from November 10th to the 19th. All we saw was a 1 and an X next to the date. So it is going to be within that time frame. Look, I'm telling you right now, they came out with the color palette before Frank did. But I know they're both, color theory maxis. It's not like their own colors. I know Bungiel was joking about that a little bit. He is having a space tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the dojo. So make sure you are watching on the Cyber Samurai Twitter and check out that space, because I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of alpha leak there. But this is one that I'm just so bullish on, dude. We've seen what happened with Lotus Gang. It has gone from basically Cyber Samurai status, where it was down bad. I mean, it was like 1 SOL a piece, and then rose up to about 17 SOL right now. So it's one of the best trades you can make in recent memory. they keep teasing a bunch of stuff. They just had the Silk Road trading game sort of thing where they announced like 10 whitelist winners. I thought it was pretty cool. I explored it a little bit. There was no way I was winning this thing. So I didn't stay on it too long. Like I said, color palette's immaculate. And I'm so excited. This feels like such an underrated catalyst. And I think we're going to see upward movement in Lotus Gang over the near term. So if you guys want to try your luck at trading it, good luck. It's in that mid-range category where if you're buying it, make sure you're like, I would buy 2 if you want access to Lily, sell 1 into the as we get closer to mint date, and make sure you're capturing profit there. But
have they announced the mint price?
No, not yet. There's no mint price on it just yet either. So it's one of those things that I worry about, and there's a lot of competition for liquidity right now with all the, and we'll be talking about all these mints in a second. But
I'm bullish, and here comes the scenario again. We've been like, this has been the trend of the show. It's like I'm bullish on the artist, not bullish on the ecosystem. So like, Bunjil is amazing. I can't wait to talk to him tomorrow. I'm bullish on Lily. Like, the art's amazing. What he plans to do for the collection is amazing. But I think if we don't see an injection of liquidity or some type of optimism back in this space, I don't see why people are going to buy a Lotus Gang to get the Lily mint. It's the same thing with GM. It's like if GM acted as a whitelist pass, and that was 10 SOL at the time, and then we saw immediately crash after we found out the mint price. I would expect the same thing with Lotus Gang. Not knocking the project, just the trends of the market. Based on the trends of the market, what's the current Lotus Gang price? Like 10 to 12 SOL?
It's 17 SOL right now.
Oh, my bad. I undershot that like bad. So if you're paying 17 SOL for a whitelist spot plus 5 SOL for a mint, potentially 3 to 5 SOL, so you're looking at 20-25 SOL for a mint. And then it's like, do you expect to get where do you expect Lily to go? So that's the type of game strategy you have to consider when you're picking up a Lotus Gang at these prices right now. Maybe you just might be better. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, before we kind of elaborate on that, I would say that this is a 10K collection. There's only 4K Lotus Gang. So my theory is that Lotus Gang may even get a free mint or a reduced cost mint compared to a regular one too. So you could factor in savings on that front, because there's 6K left over. Now they've been awarding it somewhat in a Ute style, where they've been awarding it to good riders in the space. They've been awarding it to people that were doing well in the trading game. I thought it was really fun. It was like gamified whitelist meta sort of thing. Like it was Ute list, but in a different way, right? And so I thought it was very intriguing to see. But yeah, it could be one of those things that I honestly feel like Lotus Gang may get a free mint of Lily if they hold, and they have 6K left, and they can make that a 5 SOL mint and still make 30K SOL. You know what I mean? So like it's something to consider. It could be a reduced cost mint. We don't know more, but I would say Dorian has a point. Wait till you find out what that is and then trade accordingly, right? So another thing too is Lotus Gang could have separate utility in all of this. Like it's not just an addition sort of thing where it's like a nice piece of art. Lotus Gang has a very rabid community before even this run up. So Bunjil's goated. I don't know if you guys saw Lotus Library either, but it's a clean repository for Web3 resources. I would go ahead and check it out. It's a Notion website, but very clean. I love the color palette, dude. I can't get over it. I love
it's solid, colors. Man. It's solid.
So yeah, it looks good to me. But Lily, definitely one to keep your eye on. So we'll be ranking all of these at the end of the show and talking a little bit about alpha, but there are more upcoming mints to eye. So one, UGS with our good friend of the show, Light and Company. Sounds like they're building a lot over there. It's utility. It's going to have lore. It's going to have art. So very curious to see what happens with there. And I think it's sliding under the radar. This may be one that you want to watch on secondary rather than mint. I'm going to mint because I love Light, but that's one that, I'm not going to chase whitelist for if I didn't get it from Cyber Samurai. Right. So, pop heads. We already talked about pop heads. You're going to have Joyce there, Claynosaurs. You have animators from Pixar and Marvel. Nomads is another one that's sliding under a lot of people's radars. This is one that has the Boogle's cosign because TH is running it. And I think there's a lot of cool utility coming up with there. Elixir. This is Nomads with TH. So Again, this is what there's so many mints coming up. We just get these like mint waves where a lot of these projects are going to slide on the radar. And I don't know if I would be chasing whitelist for them. I know Dorian just came out with a nice video on how to save yourself some money and play the secondary when you have some more information. Not chase whitelist, because sometimes that includes like 20 hours of work. It's a very good video. Go check out Dorian's channel.
Thanks,
But yeah, we also have Bodega Buddies eventually. Who knows when that's going to come out? And then Tayo Pilots. There's a lot coming on the horizon. The nice thing is these are all goated teams, so you could just watch secondary if you wanted to, because a lot of these are commanding. I know Clanosaur sounds like it's going to be a 7 soul mint. UGS was talking about a 5 soul mint. Pophead's probably going to be somewhere in that range too, it sounds like. Nomads I would expect to be, at least a 3 soul mint. Bodega Buddies, who knows? Easy's a trader, so I would imagine he probably has some sort of cognitive awareness that, like, hey, if I want to have an edge in this market, probably going to be a 1 to 2 soul mint. Tayo Pilot's going to be down the road. It sounds like they're putting it on the back burner until they have an edge in this market. So, which is smart. Honestly, they don't need to rush this, and they can take their time. It's not like Tayo's going anywhere right now. So there's a lot coming on the horizon. Now, let's play a fun game, Dorian. We're going to go ahead and rank all of these, right? So we are going to rank all of these. I'm going to read them out again for everybody to know. So we have Adam Ape and Brave. We have John Lay's IOTA. We have Lily with Lotus Gang and Munjil. We have UGS with Light and Company. We have Popheads. We have Clanosaurs. We have Nomads, Bodega Buddies, and Tayo Pilots. That is a lot. So I want to hear your thoughts first. If you need me to reread those, I'm more than happy to do so.
So are we ranking them in terms of excitement, or?
Let's do excitement first, and then we'll do short-term gains second, right? So the ones that we see pumping right after mint.
Yeah. So excitement, I'm excited about all of these, but my excitement ranges. So just throw that out there in case anybody's watching. It's like, and your project winds up last, doesn't mean I'm like bearish on it. It's just I'm more excited about these other ones. So I apologize. Number 1, Adam Ape. Dude is just so top tier. It's just like he knows what he's doing, and it gets me pumped because it's great to see a founder like so focused and bullish. Like, so Adam Ape, number 1. Anything he touches is like I'm pumped about. Next thing is I have to say John Lay, man. There's a lot of negative sentiment around the 5 soul mint price right now, and even though we were bearish trading, we're not bearish on him. So I'm really bullish on John Lay. I'm excited for what he's doing. I'm super excited for IOTA. I'll be minting both of mine. Coming up, number 3 is probably Bodega Buddies. Easy as goated. I held 2 nifty portals. It's great to have access to their community. I understand. I'm sure I'm sure Easy is going to bring some type of trading value to Bodega Buddies. So it's the Deep runs the Twitter account for Bodega Buddies. So those guys are awesome as well. So that's my number 3. For my number 4, I'll have to go. Let's see, not John Lay. Bunjil. Even though I don't hold a Lotus Gang, Lily is super exciting. So I'm excited to watch from the sidelines. I want to pick up some Lily, so I'll probably do it on secondary when things calm down a bit. But yeah, I'm super excited to see what's cooking over there. Number 5 is UGS. Light is goated. Their blend of tech and research over there is it excites me, even though it probably doesn't excite the market. So I can't wait to mint that. I do have a whitelist, so I will be picking up that. What else? We have Clanosaurs and Popheads. Clanosaurs looks awesome. I'm super excited for them, and Popheads as well. Like, the art on Popheads is top tier. They're the creators of both of those are goated. And my last one is Tayo Pilots. For those who don't know, I'm a Tayo maxi. One of my first videos I did was on Tayo. But like, their stuff is down the line. So Pilots is kind of already baked into my completed analysis, and they're not as new as these other things. So my excitement for them is a little bit less than all this other stuff.
Yeah, I would echo most of that. So I would definitely say that Adam Ape and Brave. Brave's just going to bring a whole new set of eyes. Like, this is one of those liquidity events that we look for. here in Solana. Like a lot more attention is going to be had on Solana just because he's bringing over a whole new audience of people. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see what the utility is too, because I keep teasing it with Magic Eden and Cardinal Labs. Like those are two foundational pillars to Solana right now. And then you have Adam animating all of it. They look sick. It does feel like it has my excitement levels the most. I'm actually going to go Lily second. I like Lily a lot. I like Bungiel a lot. I know he's been working on the art a ton, and it does feel like it already has that community behind it that, like that's what I like to see. And they've been coming out with fun games, Lotus Library, everything like that. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for John Lay. I would probably put him third, just because his Giga comment or comic in general was already top tier. I'm excited to see what IOTA comes out with, and the fact that it's kind of a Web3 funded project for me is exciting. It doesn't necessarily mean I think there's a ton of short-term gain, because it's going to take about a year to come out. So like that's a long time in Solana. That's pretty much a whole lifetime here. So that being said, I would say UGS is 4. We'll go with UGS 4. I'm going to say Popheads and Claynosaurs kind of tied for that 5th spot, just because I do like the art a lot, and it's going to be exciting to me to see if we do shift to more value towards art. Bodega Buddies is up there. I just think it's going to be on the back burner too. I think he's going to take more of a Tayo Pilots approach. So I put those towards the bottom. Not saying I'm not excited for him, just more or less like that's going to take a little bit more to see what the market pans out. So my excitement might be on all of these projects first, right? They're coming out in a sooner time frame. And then Nomads is probably last, just because I don't know enough about the project, right? That's solely a lack of information on what I know about it. But whenever a Boogle cosigns, you can pretty much guarantee that there's going to be some sort of run up, some sort of awesome innovation that comes with the project itself. So those are my rankings. We can talk about short-term gains if you want to. Let's do that. Let's just talk about 3. So 3 of the ones that we mentioned. Let's talk about our top 3 that you see running up. I'm going to go ahead and say that the project with the most attention on it, it feels like out of all of these, is probably going to be Lily. Just like I said, it already has a community behind it. I think that a lot of people are anticipating it. The fact that it's a 10K collection is a lot right now, especially when you're competing for liquidity. I think that'd be the only thing I worry about. Then I go Adam Ape and Brave. I think a lot of people are underestimating this, and there's going to be a ton of action on it. And then for number 3, I don't think IOTA is going to have a ton of momentum and volume that comes with it. I'm still going to mint it just because I love John Lay, but I don't know. I think Claynosaurs. I think I'm going to go with Claynosaurs. Claynosaurs has a lot of attention on it right now. So I think that would probably be my number 3 as far as attention goes. I just worry about that 7 soul mint price.
That's an interesting list, man. I of course I have to adapt my trading style to it. It's I mean, we specify short term, but I'm not a short term trader, so I'm gonna go with the thing that makes me the most money. So I'm gonna go with Brave. I think that's an easy play right there. It's number 1. Adam's goated. It's like, it's not a surprise, man. So that's my number 1. My number 2 is Pilots. It's like, it's a long term soak, but guess what? Pick up some oil, and Pilots is coming. All you need is a little patience. So, and then number 3, I have to say, is going to be Lily. I'm a little bit, I don't have a lot of these mints on here because it's such a weird environment right now for mints. So it's hard to say like any of these have short-term upside, but because Bungiel has an established community already, I think that has a higher chance of success for potential upside than some of these other ones.
Yeah, I think it's fair. And it's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out right now. Again, we're not financial advisors. None of this is financial advice. Do your own research, right? We always tell you, do your own research. So disclaimer, don't listen to anything we say. We're just 2 dudes talking about JPEGs. At the same time, it does feel like there's going to be a ton of sideline liquidity that comes into these projects. It's just a matter of which ones actually come into it. So we will see if it's a PvP environment. I'm excited for all of these, though. I think I'm excited for all of these. These are all really good teams that are behind it. And I just, I wish it was a little more spread out, because it sounds like all of them are coming between now and the end of the year, with the exception of Tayo Pilots and maybe Bodega Buddies. depending on how long Easy wants to wait for it. But
Yep.
a lot of mints. There's a lot to digest here. If you guys are listening on podcast, I would listen back to it. There's a lot coming up, and I think there is some alpha to be had there. Nonetheless, we get into our alpha corner where we specialize in. I would say Dorian and I are pretty much, secondary players. I don't mint a lot these days, and I honestly haven't been buying a lot. So I want to go to you first, Dorian. Is there anything that you're bullish on right now that you can see making a nice little medium-term upside move?
Yeah. Man, the market's hella weird right now, dog. Not gonna lie. So in terms of like alpha out there, I mean, this is a bit old, but just oil, man. Oil is down bad. And that's like an easy trade. I think 5 liters are around less sub 10. So I think just picking up one of those and chilling is good. But yeah, man, I'm engaged in zombies and brains. And that's a wild card, dude. That could like pop off or go to zero. I'm betting on RAR. He's top tier, man. He was on the Cyber Samurai space. They had a frack Cyber Samurai space the other week, and getting to hear him talk, he knows what he's doing over there. Very, very intelligent dude. So once again, it goes back to my core thesis of betting on founders. I would never pick this project up if it was done by a non-dev that I didn't have conviction in. So yeah, man, I like that's not like alpha for you guys. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing, and that one's super skeptical. But we'll just see how it goes. But it seems to be going well. Zombies are holding up their mint price. They're still above mint, which is a lot in this market. Brains are holding up fairly well. We saw a 50% pullback on them after the snapshot, which isn't a surprise. I think we'll see more momentum in the brains depending on what their utility is once more information is released on like how they'll be upgraded in zombies for rarities and prizes and stuff like that. But it seems like a fun ecosystem to be engaged in. If you could pick up a Ute or a tube, I think that's a good trade as well. I can see whenever Frank launches his announcement, I see these running up. It's hard for me not to see tubes running up whenever Frank begins the marketing push. Anytime he makes any type of announcement about tubes, we always see a little bump. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So not much really.
Yeah, I haven't been looking at too much either. I've actually been more involved in the one-on-one space again.
Yeah, same.
I will tell you right now that Scooby just came out with an edition. I know you picked it up.
Scooby.
I love me some Scooby. He does most of our intro music along with Low Fronts. We are both very bullish on both of those guys. Well, I guess the two guys from Low Fronts as well as Scooby. And I have really good conversations with Scooby. I just love his work, dude. The dude is leveling up every single time he releases a one-on-one or edition. And those editions, it was a nice 2x. One of them sold for like a 10x basically. And, that was a nice little play there. So congrats to whoever got that sale. It's exciting to see. He sold out in 30 minutes for somebody who was relatively underappreciated. It sounds like he's getting more of his accolades. So been bullish on Scooby for a while now. You know why I picked a lot of his work up. I still think he has a lot more planned. You'll see two of his collabs coming up here in the next couple of weeks. You're going to want to get in on those. I promise you. Now, as far as some of the alpha goes on the generative secondary side, Remnants just announced that we are getting a new UI UX for mobile. I promise you, this is just the tip of the iceberg. You guys are going to love what is coming up over the next 2 quarters or so. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you guys to see what they've been working on, because I guarantee you it is going to be one of the best games that's in Web3, not just even on Solana, but in Web3. And we have a lot to compete with over on Matic. So that's saying something. I love Remnants. I love the camps. Camps are going to have a fun utility to it, but it's just going to take a while. So those are 2 longer-term holds. If you don't have the liquidity for a longer-term hold, don't pick it up. Plain and simple. But it is a fun game. Scooby actually just announced yesterday he made back 1/7 of his cost basis just on playing the game alone so far. So you can make back that cost basis. You can sell your camp on Famous Fox. There is alpha there just for playing a game. I make it part of my everyday routine. There's a weird play that I aped into so long ago. It was the first NFT I ever aped into. It's called The Neighborhood. So The Neighborhood is a metaverse. I'm not normally bullish on metaverses. I don't normally like them. However, this one is a functional one. You can actually go into it. It only costs 1.15 Sol for a house. This is coming from 0.3. So if you don't like buying pumps, don't buy it. Like, that being said, it is only 1.15. They're coming out with a cool district map where we're going to have DAO competitions that are based off of where you are in the map. So we'll have competitions to actually earn in-game items for your district. So that can include a casino, that can include a racetrack, that can include all stuff that you can do within the metaverse. And I think that is such a cool concept to me. You can actually go in right now into the metaverse. You can customize your house with all your art. You will be able to customize your house further down the road. I think this is fun. For me, it's a 1.15 times 32. You're looking at about $40 right now for basically a piece of The Sims. If this picks up, could be a fun play. This is totally degen. Again, want to reiterate, I am not a financial advisor. Other than that, I'm staying out of the market right now. There's not a whole lot that really satiates me. I'm looking at. I didn't pick up any of the Brains or Zombies. I didn't trade them. I didn't have an edge. I was gone this weekend. Didn't play it. So
smart.
I will look to see what happens with it. But I know there's a lot of hype around it. A lot of is HGE involved or anything like that. It sounds like he is to some extent. But if I don't have an edge, I'm not trading it. And a lot of these, I would rather hold on to the liquidity right now. Nothing really sticks out to me. I'm just waiting for Utes to reveal too. Is another big one. So when Utes reveals, I'm definitely going to be trading that. I'm going to be trading that heavy.
Dude, super high volume. It's probably the easiest trade ever. Like even just like I think I'm not a huge trader, but on the rare occasions that I do trade, volume is the key, man. How quickly can you list and how quickly between listing does it get purchased? If that's like happening within seconds, those are the projects you want to be trading. And as an example, I was trading Brains the last week. It's like we saw it range from like what I think it was like 0.24 to 3 Sol. So you can made it easily 0.5 Sol. I know Manny was doing this a lot. Even with me, I was doing it not in such a high frequency, but just because I couldn't make my mind up about the project. So I'd buy them and I'm like, I don't know if I should hold this. Then I just sell them at 3 Sol. And then I wait. I'm like, maybe I should pick some more up. Then I brought them back at 2.4. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, not a whole lot going on in this market. I'm staying sideline for the most part.
Same, dog.
And honestly, preservation of liquidity is still king right now. Make sure you're checking out staking. Make sure you're checking out Camino Finance to get some return on any sort of stables you got. I mean, you have options for your sideline capital to continue to earn some sort of return on whatever liquidity you do have. Want to bring up special guests to the show, Joe Sol. Joe Sol, how you doing, sir?
Guys, I'm alive.
Yay! Love to see it.
Beat down. You guys are awesome, amazing. I miss you guys so much. I've been sick today, unfortunately. My RL business, Web 2 had some difficulty, some stuff like that last minute. But man, I sometimes I just hop on here to you guys just as a fan myself. So big ups to Dora and Bison. I love you guys. And I appreciate you guys, man. Holding it down, guys. Holding it down no matter. Man, thank you guys. Just wanted to pop in quickly. I was like, the last thing on my mind too, and I'm like, oh, I feel terrible. So
that's okay, Joe.
It's all good, dog.
That's okay. We'll get you on the next one too. But Joe, any plays that you're seeing in the secondary? I know you've been trading a lot of Liberty Square lately.
Yeah. So Liberty making 1/3 of my position, and I'm going to put it into Liberty. Just under 9 Sol for the LS and 7.5 for the Hollow was my entries. Just because that's always here. They're always always grinding. Their CEO talked to him in private many times, and I don't know. I'm very bullish on the team. So Hollow, and then I know their degenerates are coming sometimes in February too. So, but zombie plays, I'm sitting on some zombies and brains as well. It's new, it's innovative, it's unique, it's got people's attention, and when we're tired and it's a bear market, some people like the pops of liquidity into these things. So, Bison, I took your advice, and Camino Finance I staked dust pairing, and it's beautiful. I can't believe I didn't do it sooner. So that's a huge hour sleeping on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Camino's been a saving grace for me. I've been sitting on a lot of liquidity in there, and well, I don't want to say a lot. It's like 40 SOL worth of liquidity, but for me, it's nice to just have something that I can push SOL into. If I don't even have dust, they do it for you. I mean, it's like a one-click, one-stop shop. They auto balance everything for you. I mean, it's as clean as it gets. That is app.camino.finance. Camino is spelled with a K, AMINO, for anybody looking. So, guys, that about does it for this show. I think we about wrapped it up. If you guys have any questions, of course, let us know. Please subscribe to the channel. This is a new RareFUD Radio YouTube channel. Also, follow us on all our podcasting platforms. We do our best to upload these within hours after the episode is released. And follow us on Twitter at RareFUD Radio, at bisontrades, at Dorian_W. And that is with the 3 because your boy is fancy. And at JoeSoul212, right? And that about does it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.